Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the sports nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitude that are known in Nerd Nation as the Rampage. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
What's going on, sports fans? Welcome to Week 1 post NFL football. I had trouble. I'm actually watching women's softball at the moment. There's nothing else on TV. Nothing to watch. No football on this Sunday. Welcome in again, of course, my co-host Ken Koslow, Elliot Big E Lamba, John Olson, Mr. Jongo will be here momentarily. He is presently waiting for children child help.
He is on domestic delay.
He is on domestic delay. That's a good one to say.
Mr. Mom right now.
Yeah, he's doing the Mr. Mom thing. You are correct. Well, guys, 1 week later, what did we think of the Super Bowl?
Why don't we wait till John gets here before we talk about the Super Bowl?
We can do that.
That way we're not going back and forth on the same stuff we just discussed.
We can talk about baseball now.
Yeah, we can get into baseball because John's not here. We can get into baseball if you want to do that.
Yeah, there you go. Let's talk about baseball and Rob Manfred, the idiot.
So spring training has been officially pushed back a week because they can't come to an agreement. I am of the opinion that this is all on Major League Baseball and not MLPA.
Well, it was Manfred that locked them out. That shit backfired on his ass because he thought they'd cave.
Yes. Here he comes, guys. He's here. Hi, John.
Hi, guys.
Sorry.
What's up?
That's right. We're in the middle of we waited on the football talk. We were starting Major League Baseball because you weren't here, but that's okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
We were starting to talk about the non-existent baseball season.
Right.
Cares. Yeah. Guys that make more money in one at bat than I will in my entire life. I don't feel sorry for any of them. So piss on them all. So there you go.
I know Ken has some thoughts on it. Go ahead, Ken.
What I was going to say was they met in a Grandwise meeting the other day, and the meeting lasted all of 15 minutes.
Right.
And I posted on, I think it was Twitter, that I had a poop that same day that lasted longer than 15 minutes. So.
That's a different way to gauge your time.
Yeah. If they're not going to meet for more than a quarter of an hour, then we're never going to get anything done. So it doesn't look like they're anywhere near close to any kind of agreement whatsoever. So we could be
1994. 1994.
It looks like 94 all over again, and we could be in for a long wait, bud. I'm
of that. And the fact that wasn't there also an article this past week or the week before about MLB talking about not paying the minor leaguers during training camp? Is that correct?
I think I read something about that, which is ludicrous.
Right.
That's foul.
You're trying to treat them like scabs. I mean, they're.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
They're not organized, so I mean, there's no minor league organization. They have as much of a right to play and get paid for it as anybody else does.
Right.
Well, your baseballistas out there are saying that they should, and trust me, I'm not the one that's going to tune in, but they say they should put on college baseball in place of the MLB until they get their shit straight.
They've done that before.
Yeah, well, I don't even watch college football and basketball, which are the most popular ones.
Amen, brother.
I know.
College baseball is way off the radar.
Two significant games this week in college baseball. Kid from NC State hit 3 home runs and drove in 6, and they beat Evansville 24-6 on their opening day. And then a pitcher from Illinois State got hit in the face with a 103-mile-an-hour line drive, and he's apparently okay. So that's a miracle in itself. But college baseball, to be honest with you, puts me to sleep because there's
Me too.
there's no pitching. I mean, there's innings last hours.
I can say the same thing about basketball and football.
John's already bored.
Yeah,
I know. I'm sitting here saying hi to Chris because you're not paying attention to the chat, so I'll pay attention to it. Hi, Chris. You got to click a link.
Yes, it says Facebook
that
user.
Facebook user.
Yeah, that's Facebook user. So
All right.
AKA Chris.
Hang on, Chris.
I've been promoting this outside of our little circle. You know.
Well, somebody's got to.
You know what I mean? Someone's got to promote the show.
I got you, Chris. Click that link, and it'll get you a link to restream. And
What's up,
we'll
Brett?
It's Brett Murphy.
Brett. Hello, sir.
It's been a
Brett's in
couple
the house.
weeks.
How you doing, Brett?
Been a couple
You've
weeks.
been using your mailing tool there, John, to promote the show. Is that you've been doing?
No, I was in chat and people were like, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I'm doing Sports Nerd if anyone wants to come out." And Chris was like, "Okay, I'll be there. Pop a link in." So I threw a link out. Whoop-de-whoop.
It must be Telegram, not.
Telegram, yeah, because not everyone is on Discord. You know.
Yeah, I hardly ever open Telegram these days. So I don't know
Well, you
why.
hardly open anything, sir. So
Yeah.
I love the post where John says you
Yes,
can't
I know.
ask sports nerds questions until Sunday. That's
yeah, you're not allowed to do
any.
anything in this community. Only on Sundays when Scott shows up. Okay? All other days, you're not allowed to say a word.
And guess what? Either later that day or the next day, Scott started answering posts. He started.
I know
commenting.
you got a little pissy, man. It was good. You got to get a little bit of emotion from him. You know, at least, dude. It's you thought we wouldn't hold back just because it's off season. Like, come on.
He won't advertise, but yet he won't communicate with his nation either, unless it's Sunday.
I have nothing to say because I deserve every.
Yeah,
friggin'
I'm
word.
just saying.
I know, John. I know. And how long have you been preaching this to me? How many years have you been preaching this to me?
Probably a decade, man.
Probably a decade. You're right.
Double digits.
Yes.
Double
Yes.
digits.
Yes.
Anyways, it is what.
All
it
right.
is.
Now that John's here, we can get in meat of the show. Super Bowl 56. The Los Angeles Rams defeat the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm going to go around the panel here and get your thoughts and opinions on the game. We'll start with Ken. He's to my right on the screen. So, what do you think? What do you think, Ken?
I thought it was a real good game, play wise. It's one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen at any level.
At least in the last part of the fourth quarter, it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
The last drive of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The game-winning drive of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I just missed the prediction. My prediction by 4 points. I'd said 27-20, and it was 23-20. So felt pretty good about that. But yeah, I mean, the Rams did what they had to do right there at the end, and Bengals ends up in the short end of the stick again. I'm sorry, Cat, but that's the way it goes, and they're now 0 for 3 against California teams in Super Bowls.
Right.
But yeah, it was as good a game as I was hoping it would be, but the officiating was just absolutely horrendous. Grabbing a face mask and throwing a defensive back out of the bounds, and go, you're letting that go?
But did you hear the reason that they let it go?
No, I haven't yet. What was
Yeah,
the
they
reason?
put out a statement. They put out a statement that it was a contested catch.
So
Because it was a contested catch, they didn't call the penalty.
Grab his
That
face,
was
next.
that was their excuse. But you see, to me, it was a makeup for the pass interference that Jalen Ramsey committed in the first quarter.
right.
That didn't get called.
Yeah.
Okay. And to me, that was the whole scenario there because Higgins should have had a touchdown on that catch. On that ball. But when you got somebody tugging at your freaking jersey and your shirt,
Yeah.
and they don't get me started on Jalen Ramsey.
All right. Next. Okay. We'll get to you in a second, Elliot. John, what were your thoughts?
Whatever. The real Super Bowl was a few weeks before. It was the Kansas City Buffalo game. Let's be clear. That was the real Super Bowl. Whatever. I mean, it's good to see some of these guys win. Like, sorry, Scott. I love seeing OBJ actually win. That was cool.
I did too. Yeah, I did too, John. Believe it or not, I did too.
Yeah.
All in all, I'm still an OBJ fan. So
yeah.
I hate to see him get hurt. I hate to see him get hurt.
Yeah, that sucked, right? I mean, that really sucked. But
Yeah.
it was fine. I mean, I wasn't like blown away. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen. I know, everyone was. It's whatever, man. I mean, but what's pathetic is the team that won. Not that they don't deserve it. It's great, but that freaking parade or whatever the hell they had after was just just pathetic, man. And then you see all the LA fans like, no, look, we had all these people. Like, look, and it's like 5,000 people, maybe. It's like you won the Super Bowl, man. It wasn't a high school prom thing. Like, what the hell? It was pathetic, man. It was absolutely pathetic. Like,
the only parade I've seen that was worse attended than that was Trump's inauguration parade.
Oh, we going political?
No, we're not.
Hey, we're allowed to go political now because I'm not allowed to say anything up here, or else my bank accounts might get shut down if I have any opposing view.
Yeah, be careful.
So I'm not allowed to say a word.
Yeah, Trudeau
not even against American politics.
I can't say a thing if I have an opposing view from dictator, sir. I'm not allowed to say a word. My accounts will be shut down, so I will just sit here and look at. Oh, look, shiny objects.
All right, Elliot, go ahead. What were your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are that honestly, everybody made it seem like LA was going to run away with that Super Bowl. Scott's prediction was an example of that. What was it, 41-20? Yeah, when you said it was going to be a blowout.
All right, I don't remember.
And
I don't
you
even
can go
remember.
back to the replay if you want.
What did I say? I don't even. I forget, man. What did I say?
I said
But
27-20. That was it.
Here's the thing, and it all comes down to this. As Ken said, one of the worst officiated games, but the worst officiating came in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes. Okay? Because they threw more flags on that game-winning drive than they did the entire game previous to that.
Correct.
Okay?
Except,
It seemed like every time Cincinnati was about to stop them, another flag came out.
Right.
If you look at one of the posts I put up, it showed the different. It showed the different penalties that, like for instance, that one on Logan Wilson when he was defending Cooper Kupp down by the 3-yard line or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They call that a freaking holding penalty. The guy never even had a touch on him.
No,
He had his hand against him, but that was to reach out to deflect the pass. But wait a second. On that same play, Aaron Donald, or actually two of the Rams offensive linemen started early.
Defensive line.
Oh, yeah.
It was a false start, and the flag wasn't thrown.
Yeah, right tackle move.
Okay. Aaron Donald lined up offsides. You could see his head on a 4th and 1 play.
That is
encroachment. He lined up offsides.
He's in the neutral zone.
Encroachment. neutral zone infraction, whatever.
Yes.
It seemed
That's
to
on-
me
that was on the
like
Fourth down play, they stopped the Bengals.
Yep.
it seemed to me like outside of that questionable face mask contested catch penalty that wasn't called or whatever, okay, it seemed like the refs and all the penalties were going the way of the Rams, okay, especially on that last drive. And to me, it started to smell again like the NFL being rigged, because they wouldn't have been able to deal with the embarrassment of the LA Rams losing in Hollywood to a team from Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, that wouldn't have been the best storyline for them.
They didn't want that at all.
But I will guarantee you that if Cincinnati would have won, they would have had record parade crowds in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it was pathetic that but you know what? It's not unheard of, because what happened in that NFC Championship game? The 49ers fan filled up 70% of the stadium.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And in most cases, you don't get a lot of Rams fans. You get visiting teams fans that fill up the stadium more at SoFi than Rams fans themselves.
It's because the Rams really don't have a fan base. They really don't.
Because their fan base is still in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yes.
In LA, if your name is not the Lakers, they don't care. I mean, they
Or
show
the
Lakers or Dodgers.
The Lakers,
basically. That's it.
I'm not even sure about the Dodgers, because the Lakers run LA.
Yeah.
Dodgers used to, but even the
For
Dodgers
sure.
have fallen off here lately. But
that's because
Lakers.
basketball is more Hollywood than baseball is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's showtime.
And again, I mean, they won on the scoreboard.
Yes.
But I think Cincinnati was actually the better team that day.
They were the better team, but when push came to shove and they needed big yardage, Taylor leaves Joe Mixon on the bench. I mean,
that's the one play I couldn't understand when they had Samaje Perine. Okay, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Plus, on that last fourth down play, Aaron Donald was lined up offside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
And if they had called the penalty, that down, it turns into a first down, first of all.
First down, that was 4th and 1.
Because the 5 yards would have reset the downs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And second of all, because he got that extra jump, Jamar Chase had burned Ramsey once again. Ramsey was on the ground and Jamar Chase was all by himself. But Burrow didn't have the opportunity to get him the ball because the Donald play wasn't called. Again, in the end, the referees made their press. Tony Dungy put out a statement saying all they wanted to do for the first 58 minutes and 38 seconds is call taunting, and other insignificant penalties, and then they decided to be referees in the last minute and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, and to me, that's where it all came in. I had a lot of back and forth with people on Facebook, and I told them, look, the NFL just couldn't have Cincinnati win that game. And the fact that all these flags were coming out on that last drive proved that to me, anyway, in my opinion.
Right.
So congratulations to Odell Beckham. Screw the Rams, because they shouldn't have won that game.
And Matthew Stafford.
What about him?
I mean, Matthew Stafford.
You mean the guy that walked away from a reporter that fell off the stage and broke her back?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that wasn't a good look, was it?
No, it wasn't.
No, not at all. He turned around and started sipping his water as he walked away. Yeah. And as what's that song by Eminem, Guilty Conscience? As soon as he started getting ragged in the media about it, he decided he was going to pay this lady's bills, buy her new equipment and all that.
Was this after the game? Was this during the trophy presentation?
During the parade.
Oh, during the parade. Okay. Well, he was drunk
stage.
during the parade anyway.
He was
on the stage.
Yeah. Well, he was trashed.
This reporter fell backwards.
Yeah. They were all trashed.
The reporter fell backwards, and he turned around and started walking away, sipping his water. His wife was like, "Holy shit!" she had this expression on her
That
face
was
like,
not
what the
water he
hell?
was doing.
Whatever he was drinking, I'm
Fire
just
water.
saying, he just walked away as if nothing had happened. And until the media lit a fire under his ass, he finally decided that he was going to foot the bill for the medical expenses. Why? Because if they hadn't burned his fucking ass, I'm sorry for the French, if they hadn't lit that fire, Stafford would have just walked away from it and left it at that. Okay? But again, that guilty conscience in the media got to him, and all the backlash from all the fans, that everybody that saw that video was up in arms. They were outraged that he just basically, and you know what? If that's the way he's going to act, he shouldn't drink.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Because obviously he can't hold his
even
alcohol.
came out with a comment later in the week.
And he's not the greatest.
Trust me.
He's not the greatest speaker either.
No, and Brady made a tweet earlier this week. He said, "Take my advice, drink some water between drinks or something of that nature."
Well, at least he didn't try to throw the trophy across.
Yeah, exactly. My thoughts are, one of my predictions came true. The defensive line of the LA Rams dominated the offensive line of the Bengals the entire game,
and yet they almost lost.
And they still almost lost. Correct. The Bengals need to shore up that offensive line in the offseason, or they're going to be, or Burrow's going to be running for his life again next year.
You think?
Again, I agree with Elliot and you guys in that the penalties on the last drive of that game is what cost Cincinnati the game, or else they probably would have won that game. But it doesn't change the fact that that offensive line is full of Swiss cheese, and it's a detriment to the talent of Joe Burrow. Burrow played his ass off. He played.
I don't think it's a detriment, because he showed exactly how much talent he has, despite an inept offensive line.
Yeah. Correct, and again, that's one of my other points, is he played his ass off and managed to play well despite the offensive line. And I'm at a loss as to why Mixon wasn't in the game on that drive either. It just blew my mind. Unbelievable.
You know what that reminds me of, Scott? When they didn't have Deebo Samuel in on the 49ers 3rd and 1, they handed the ball to Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it didn't. You're right.
Unless Mixon was hurt, which it didn't appear he did. You know what I'm saying?
Mixon got
look. Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy there. Him, Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow are the nucleus of that team on offense. And to not have him in there, and I don't even think on the 4th down he was in there, because he tried to throw the ball to Samaje Perine when he couldn't, when he got spun around.
Right.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think, Burrow got his knee twisted in the next to last or third to last sack. And so he was
sprained. He actually played the last part of the game with a sprained MCL.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And he couldn't plant that foot, and that's part of what he didn't have any mobility, and his passes were going here and there and everywhere, and so that's he was playing the last minute and a half hurt, so I can't blame him for that, but One of the things I disagree with is all the criticism, and he, in a way deserves it, but all the criticism of Eli Apple and his inability to guard Cooper Kupp. Okay. I didn't see anybody in entire season that could guard Cooper Kupp.
Exactly. But
Nobody.
What was Jalen Ramsey's excuse? Jalen Ramsey was getting burned all game long.
Exactly. He was as burned as toast as Eli Apple was.
And again, on that last play, had Burrow had more time, Jamar Chase made a move on Ramsey. Ramsey was on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamar Chase was all alone.
Yeah.
Katie brings up a good point. Agents are going to be all over.
Yes, that's right.
Another penalty or lack thereof calling a penalty cost the Bengals.
And Katie brings up a good point. But agents are going to be all over the Bengals hawking their lineman clients. It's a foregone conclusion. They will be. Absolutely. And again, another comment she made was that if talking about the stingy Bengals ownership, Mike Brown doesn't like to spend money, but we'll see what happens in the offseason because he knows that Burrow needs an offensive line, so he's not running for his life, and he needs to avoid injury. So I'm with Katie on that big time.
But how about that Bengals defense?
Let's help him find his wallet when he moves.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to talk about the Rams. Let's talk about the Bengals.
Bengals defense was really good.
Mm-hmm. Except for Eli Apple.
But yet nobody wants to talk about them the way they want to talk about the Rams defense. The Rams defense was just full of blue chippers that were traded for a shitload of draft picks.
Yeah.
Okay. But nobody wanted to talk about the blue collar Bengals defense.
Right.
Who got so many unheard of penalties called on them, especially in that last drive. And to me, that was a bunch of bull.
Yeah.
So
my biggest
Bengals
regret
defense played just as well. They didn't get to Stafford as many times, but then again, the Rams had a far better offensive line.
Yeah.
But the Rams Stafford didn't have a great game. He had a mediocre game as far as I'm concerned.
And once again, McVay gets outcoached. He was outcoached.
He got outcoached as right.
Games.
Except in the end, because I think Zach Taylor outcoached himself on the Samaje Perine thing.
Yeah. What were you going to say, John? Your biggest regret?
is that Jalen Ramsey has a Super Bowl ring.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you, John. If the Bills had been in the Super Bowl instead of the Bengals, the Bills would have mopped the field with the Rams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't have even been close, man.
I even think Kansas City would have. If Kansas City would have made it, I think they would have beat the Rams.
Worse than Kansas City would have.
I think the Chiefs would have beat the Rams. Well, wait a minute. I'm not going to say that because in the end, the referee still had a place in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So any team that would have played the Rams were going to be at a disadvantage because the NFL didn't want the Rams to lose in LA. That would not have been a good look for the NFL.
Nope.
Well,
but yet the parade totally put a damper on that.
I made a comment earlier this week. I think there were more fans at the Browns 0-16 parade than were at the Rams.
Well, there were. As a matter of fact, there's more Browns. There's a higher percentage of Browns fans at their own games than the Rams because the Rams can't even put 50%. They can't even fill 50% of the stadium.
Yep.
Like you said, the road teams are always the home team when they go to SoFi.
What does SoFi hold?
I think 80,000. I think
80,000. There's only 70,000 in the stadium. The attendance was 70,000.
I think that's because of the ticket prices.
Yeah, the prices.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you see how the prices were plummeting at the end when they were trying to get rid of all the remaining tickets? And they still couldn't get rid of them.
No.
And I'll tell you right now, the Chargers probably pack that stadium more than the Rams do. Because the Chargers have a fan base.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
San Diego.
People in San Diego will make that drive to LA to watch the Chargers. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. It's only a 3-hour drive.
It's not even a 3-hour drive.
I mean, there were a lot of Cincinnati fans in SoFi Stadium for that game.
There were. Yes, there were.
Again, the Rams have no, and I said it plain and simple, the Rams have no fan base in LA. None. And then you price out people that are regular fans. A lot of fans didn't show up because they were priced out of the ability to attend.
Yeah.
But as long as
when you're charging $500 for parking,
is in charge of the game, it's going to be that way.
Yeah. Huh? They reap what they sow.
Yes, they do.
And right now, the Rams they're in the wrong place to have any kind of loyalty from fans, period.
Well, they didn't have much of a fan base in St. Louis either. St. Louis has now lost the Cardinals and the Rams. So
well, that's because St. Louis is not St. Louis has always been about the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
The baseball team.
The baseball team. You know, St. Louis is not a football mecca,
like
so
the
to speak.
Lakers run LA.
Yeah. So, again,
LA fans would
The
rather
Rams
bitch
won.
for the Lakers.
The
than
Rams won on
all
the
Rams.
scoreboard. The Rams won on the scoreboard, but I think overall, the Bengals fans lost in the end because of shoddy and really suspect refereeing officiating.
Cannot argue that.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
So
every
we got
reason to feel
6 months until we see football again, guys. So may it rest in peace for.
Oh, wait a minute. We got the combines coming up. We got the
Combines first part
draft
next
coming
month, yeah.
up.
Then we got the draft in April, which John loves the draft in April.
Yeah. Time to watch Draft Day.
Yes. Me, I'm going to be spending my next 4 or 5 months watching golf, which is what I do every year. So, I know you're going to be snoring here. I know.
who won today?
Talk about college baseball being there.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean, dude? Watch grass grow, bro.
Well, it is what it is. The players is next month, followed by the Masters, followed by the PGA Championship, followed by the U.S. Open, followed by the British Open. That'll get me through July. I'll be all right. And there was a big contest in Daytona today where guys were driving left for 4 hours. That happened as well.
Left.
We get the USFL in April, Brett. Really?
Yep.
You're really gonna promote the USFL?
No.
Oh, Brett.
No.
Not a one stadium league, no.
The USFL is not. I mean, spring football didn't work back in the day. It's not going to work now. I'm sorry. You're not going to get any fans. The level of play is going to be below NCAA level of play as far as I'm concerned. That's how it's going to be.
What's funny is you got people out there asking, anybody want to play fantasy for USFL?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Brett, we're not going to get. You can get excited about the USFL. I live in the Tampa area. Even I'm not excited about the USFL, and the band is playing Tampa, so it's not. I can care less. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
I'd rather actually see the XFL.
The talent level in the USFL is going to be so low. It's going to be embarrassing. It really will be. So I'm not even excited about that.
By the way, Katie, the guy who won Daytona today is from beautiful downtown Mooresville, North Carolina. So,
is where
talking about XFL, Katie? No, Katie seems to think.
No, Katie, we will not be talking about the USFL on this show. I can guarantee you that. Yeah.
Oh, we might be talking about it, but not in a good way.
Yeah. And if I do start, my co-host will just put me down and say, "What are you doing? Let's move on and get out of this conversation." So.
Well, that ought to tell you something if the Jets are outdrawing the Rams.
Yes. And to answer your question, Ken, Joaquin Neiman won the tournament today.
Oh wow.
Who?
Yeah, I know, John.
What?
What are you even talking about?
Golf.
Paint drying.
Exactly. Yeah, literally.
The game where you hit a ball and then chase it and then hit it again and chase it again and try to put it in a hole.
Beautiful.
Guy by the name of Austin Cindric. Katie.
Who?
Austin Cindric from Mooresville, North Carolina.
Won the Daytona 500.
He's a rookie.
Oh.
His eighth career his eighth career start in NASCAR, and he wins the Daytona 500.
Didn't the racing industry get kind of dogged about having that race in the LA Coliseum?
Yes, it did. It was all god awful. Call
it what it is. It was a shit show.
It was a shit show. It really was. It was a shit show. It really was. It's a gimmick, and NASCAR used to cut it with the gimmicks and stay with what got you here. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is. That's probably the last race I'll watch. The one and only race I'll watch all season long. So who knows?
I will watch the two that are in Texas if I do get the chance to.
Yeah.
But other than that, in Daytona, that's about the extent of my interest.
Yeah, we'll get to that, Brett, in a second. I wanted to talk about that as well. But all right, your outlooks for next season, guys. What do you think is going to happen in the off season? I mean, any thoughts? Any predictions? What are you looking forward to in 2022, 2023 for next season?
There won't be a repeat Super Bowl champion. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, definitely not.
No, it's not going to happen.
My
no matter how much Aaron Donald is screaming or Von Miller and all of them are screaming, we're going to run it back. Yeah, okay, whatever, dudes.
My prediction is there will be cameras will be banned from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders locker room. And we won't be seeing any more of those.
And executives too. Executives will be banned.
Yeah, exactly.
Katie thinks Rodgers goes to the AFC. Are we all thinking Denver here?
Well, that seems to be the odds-on favorite because of the fact that the offensive coordinator from Green Bay went to Denver as the coach. But
a lot of Green Bay coaches went to Denver. A lot of them.
I don't see it though. I really just don't see it.
Do you really see a Rodgers for Tannehill trade to Tennessee?
Now, I don't think he's not going to Tennessee. The Tennessee said they're not even pursuing the Rodgers.
They're not pursuing him? Okay.
They said they're going to stick with Tannehill. They're going to stick with Tannehill.
If he goes to an AFC team, I'd like to see him go to Indianapolis. Because I think Indianapolis has the best offensive line and best running game, best offense. And but the thing is, the Packers just hired Clement, who is Rodgers' favorite coach.
Yeah.
And so
they're trying to do everything
anywhere.
Yeah, they're trying to do whatever it takes. Right now, the odds are screaming that he won't return.
Yeah, I don't think he goes back.
I think you've seen the last of Rodgers in the Green Bay uniform.
Why would they hire his
where he winds up
if he wasn't going to?
Where he winds up is totally another situation in itself. But then again, like everything else, everything changes every 5 minutes, so you never know what's going to happen for sure.
Right.
All right. People got him going to Indianapolis. They got him going to Pittsburgh. They got him even going to Tampa, which is totally outrageous because I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, the Tampa's seem to be set on Gabbert. But Tampa seems to be set on Mike Lennon at this point, so who knows what's going to happen.
Well, they also got Jimmy G going to Tampa.
Yeah.
Jimmy G!
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Gabbert's going to be the starter.
I think that honestly, I think he needs to go somewhere where the weather's better, so that he can extend his career. Okay.
You're thinking San Francisco.
No, not San Francisco necessarily. Although that would be from a standpoint of that's his home turf, basically.
Do you think Denver is a better climate than Green Bay?
Well, I mean, it's just as cold and crappy in the wintertime as Green Bay.
Especially with the altitude.
As far as Brett and the building of a house, when they announced he's building a house in Tennessee, everybody immediately shifted over to saying, oh, he's going to go to the Titans. Well, the Titans shot that down just a few days later.
And he and his fiance just broke up, so he's
I think that's why he moved to Nashville because she's there.
Yeah.
Like the meme said,
there's no reason for him to go to Nashville.
Like the meme said, he fell short of getting another ring.
Yes.
But again, Rodgers is going to go where I think Rodgers feels is best for him. Whether that's Green Bay or Indianapolis or Pittsburgh, I have no idea. Again, that all is going to be determined in due time. All right. He probably does it. You're right. But again, Katie, it's just a matter of in his declining years, which those are
he's 38 or 39.
Yeah, and those years are coming.
30.
I don't think that cold weather is going to be conducive for him to have a much longer career. Let's put it that way. This is why Tom Brady left New England. Okay. And speaking of Tom Brady, did you guys read the story about him and Arians?
Yeah, I did. I still don't buy it because, I mean, you know.
Yeah, but the offensive coordinator, what's his name? Leftwich?
Yeah.
They were saying the same thing, that when Arians was going through his leg issue or his ankle issue or whatever the hell he was going through, okay, he turned everything over to, as far as the offense, to Brady and Leftwich. And then when he would come back, he'd freaking X out all the plays and deny everything that they were trying to do.
Took a red
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's don't do this. Let's don't do that. That's pretty good. No, not right here.
Yeah.
So how do you relinquish power and then turn around and shoot it down? You know what I'm saying?
Well, did you also hear that Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy weren't getting along either?
Yeah, that's why Eric Bieniemy is not there anymore.
Well, that's not official yet, but we'll see. I mean, he's supposed to have a meeting with Kansas City brass to see what is.
But wait a minute. He had an 8-hour meeting with the Saints, and they still went out and took Dennis Allen, the white guy, by the way.
Something is going on with Bieniemy's history, I think, is what it is. I think it's something underlying with Bieniemy. I don't think it's his skin color. I think it's something else in his history or his personality that's preventing him from getting a head coaching job. I don't have any qualms about that.
I suggested 4 or 5 years ago that he should have taken the Colorado job. Because he's a legend at the Colorado.
But they managed to slip in an African American at the end, Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
So, and as far as the Brian Flores thing goes,
Brian Flores got hired by the Steelers, and that's the Roonies being the Roonies, basically because they're, along with maybe a couple other franchises, they're leading the way on diversity, and they have no qualms about promoting from within as far as diversity is concerned. It's a good hire by Pittsburgh. As much as I hate it, burns my ass and pains me to say it. That's a really good hire by the Steelers to bring him in. And it especially with, he's going to be what, a linebackers coach? Is that what it is? That can, I forget what they were.
He's going to be
assistant defensive coach,
defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he'll be defensive coordinator.
Yeah, basically.
So and that defense is good as it is. So they're bringing him in to only make him better. Especially when you got when you got Watt on one side on that line. TJ Watt on that defensive line. It's only going to, Katie, I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that because a lot of head coaches that get released or get fired,
they wind up being
coordinators as coordinators, and that it's common to happen that way. Whether doesn't matter what franchise it is, it happens all the time. So I disagree with that comment. I'm sorry.
I think Pittsburgh is just stepping out in front and putting themselves back in the position of saying, "Hey, we're all about diversity."
That's exactly what they're doing.
Well, the Roonies have been in the forefront of diversity for years. Excuse me. The rule is named after Dan Rooney, for Christ's sake.
The Rooney Rule, yeah.
Come on. And the fact that he got hired doesn't change the fact he's still going to go forward with this lawsuit against the NFL. They don't care.
Well, there's actually a lot of coaches that have been up for head coaching consideration that wound up being coordinators.
Yeah. The fact that Flores wasn't being considered is because he had litigation going against the NFL. That's kind of he kind of cut his nose off to spot his face on that one. So, yeah.
And as far as that goes, Katie, that's a Stephen Ross issue. As far as him, and which right now is rumored that they're trying to push him out as owner of the Dolphins. Okay, just like they're trying to push Dan Snyder out as well.
Well, Dan Snyder is hanging by a thread at this point, in my opinion. He really is.
The Stephen Ross thing is what cost Brian Flores. It had nothing to do with his color. It had to do with the fact that Ross wanted a higher draft pick, and Flores wasn't willing to sell out for that. Plain and simple. So, I mean, you got to start somewhere. It's like when Rex Ryan lost his job with the Jets. He was a coordinator somewhere else, right?
No,
right?
He went right to Buffalo.
He's been Buffalo.
But he's been a coordinator. He's been a coordinator in other places even after he left.
Yeah,
now
he's in Vegas.
Yeah, he's going to be
Rex Ryan.
No, Rob Ryan.
No,
Rob Ryan. That's different.
Oh, Rex Ryan.
No, Rob.
I said Rex's.
Rob's brother.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Who's saying hello? Who's the face?
Janelle, hang on a second. Janelle, I need you to click on this link, Janelle, and get yourself linked to Restream so we can see your name in the Restream chat. You're seeing you as Facebook user. So, Jangle, congratulations, Jangle, on the new baby. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to say congratulations anyway. Congrats. Baby number 3 for Janelle.
3 for 3.
Right.
3 girls.
Hitting 1,000.
Yeah, the husband must be going crazy.
No idea.
Yeah, so it's good to see you, Janelle. A long time no see. I think Brian Flores. Again, it's been a normal practice for those head coaches that have been fired for performance to be rehired somewhere else as a coordinator or a defensive assistant or something of that nature, not as a head coach.
Oh, most definitely wasn't.
I don't understand why you feel that way. I really don't. I don't understand why you feel that way. Because he was a head coach candidate and he settled for a coordinator job instead of a head coach. Is that? Yes, you did, Janelle. You did it great. So again, but I don't get why you're going. I don't understand your rationale behind it. I think it's a great hire.
Well, it wasn't a performance issue. It was that he didn't do what he was told and tank the team.
He didn't play the game.
He didn't play the game. He actually wanted to win, and he shouldn't be faulted for that, but he is because it's. Let's be honest. It's the NFL owners and everyone else, right?
Yeah,
and you go against the big boys.
Yeah, and Katie, to your point, because his coaches lost their jobs because of performance, I agree. He did not lose his job because of performance. He lost his job because of other issues, and he was blackballed by the majority of the rest of the league from getting a head coach position because of the lawsuit he filed against the NFL.
Yeah,
so
and you know they circle the wagons. They circle the wagons.
The Rooney's flat out don't give a shit. So they brought him in because he's a great coach. He can do nothing but help his team. Boom. I disagree with
bullshit.
That's going to be very awkward, though, the whole Minka Fitzpatrick thing and Brian Flores thing. Don't you think that'll be a little awkward? Hi. Remember me?
Yeah, it is retaliation. It is retaliation, but that's what the NFL Owners Club is all about.
It is. It's a good old boys network.
It is.
The only reason Lovie Smith is the head coach and not Brian Flores is because of the lawsuit. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's Houston, right? Lovie is Houston.
Lovie Smith was never really a candidate.
Nobody said it makes it right.
Oh, it doesn't make it right at all.
Not, Katie.
Definitely
it doesn't make it right at all. But you know what? It's the world we live in as far as ownership, pretty much in a lot of leagues.
You've got 32 white owners, Katie. Well, 31, not counting Green Bay. 30?
No. 30. Hold on. You're not counting there. You got Jacksonville and you got Buffalo. So take it easy.
Okay, so we got 29 white owners. Excuse me, John. All right, because Green Bay is owned by the fans and not by. There is no one single owner in Green Bay. So 29.
I don't know what you mean by you all, but I haven't accepted a damn thing.
Right.
But I have no say in the matter. So
you think they're going to listen to us and change it?
Right. No, Katie, wrong.
We can't even get double-digit people to watch the show, much less have an opinion.
Right. Katie, I'm not saying we have to accept it. I'm saying because Brian Flores should be a head coach in the NFL, flat out. He should be a head coach in the NFL. All right? But because of the fact it is what it is, he got blackballed by the majority of the owners in the NFL. The Rooney said, screw that. Let's bring him in here. He's a great coach. He'll be a great motivator. He can do nothing but help this team no matter what position in this franchise he's held, let's bring him in. He's a great coach. That's the standard that the Rams have, and that's why they brought him into the Pittsburgh organization.
Despite
doesn't
the
make
NFL,
the fact that he's not a head coach right. It doesn't make it right. But
they're doing that despite the lawsuit that he still has in place.
Yes.
Correct.
So he hasn't accepted a damn
thing. Look at
thing.
it this way. As far as the coaches are concerned, Brian Flores is to coaching what Colin Kaepernick is to quarterbacking. Nobody's hiring Colin Kaepernick either for the very same reason.
Right.
He follows suit
and
against
it's
the
usually
NFL.
political.
It's political. And I'd love to be able to change it myself, but I'm not going to be able to.
Okay.
No, don't get political, John.
Oh, no, I'm not saying dude, I'm good.
It is what it is.
And you know what? This is why, because of the makeup of the ownership in the league, this is why there is no question in my mind, or I think in anybody's mind, that Roger Goodell ain't going nowhere.
No, because he's because the extension to his contract as we speak.
He is the NFL ownership's lapdog.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a bitch.
As long as Roger Goodell,
again,
I'm in another comment. As long as Roger Goodell's around to lick the boots of the ownership group, he has a job. That's plain and simple. You know what?
Yep.
And again, Katie,
and he'll get at least 30. He'll get at least 30 of the 32 votes.
Correct, Katie. It is bullshit, and we're agreeing with you. But the fact remains, Brian Flores should be a head coach in this in the NFL. Okay.
Yes.
And it's a shame that the Texans.
Well, that's because he works for them.
They went with Lovie Smith as a token hire. That's what he was. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell's power is limited to what the owners allow him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
That brings up an interesting story. I don't know if this is kind of, I'm just trying to go non-political for a second, believe it or not. Did you read about potential new ownership of the Denver Broncos?
Crypto.
Yeah, the crypto people. The crypto group.
No, not crypto people. The DAO.
Crypto group.
Not even people. Decentralized autonomous organization, meaning no person owns it. It will be basically AI owning the franchise.
Yeah, that's what.
How does that work with an entity that does not play by Goodell's rules? How will that come into play?
If it comes
now, you don't even have a human owner.
Right. Yes, Katie. You've known me for 22 years, Katie. I've always been a dingbat, so it's okay. I agree with that. Katie.
Obviously, Katie has strong feelings about the Brian Flores situation.
Yes, she does, and you know what? I agree with most of what she says, but she doesn't realize that.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with her passion behind it.
Don't.
The only thing is
glad
that
he's not in the AFC East anymore. That's all I'm he was the only. I don't even fear Belichick. I feared Brian Flores
because Miami was up and coming, man. They were playing really good football.
They were,
yeah.
And with that defensive makeup that the Steelers have, he's gonna have
the defense is going to be insane. Steelers defense is just going to be another level. But they
again,
don't
he's just going to
throw the ball.
He's just going to pad his resume.
Well, and I think that's what it's setting up, right? Like, let's say that hopefully, let's hope that this gets passed and whatever. Brian Flores does an amazing job at Pittsburgh. He's got this resume now of being a successful coach in Miami, and now just putting on his boots and getting to work for this year. What happens next year? Because there's going to be a whole bunch of people getting fired next year, right? Because that's the NFL,
exactly.
right? So it's setting them up. This is perfect. Yeah. I think it's very not similar, but like to me, it's kind of the same way like Buffalo brought in Trubisky. Trubisky was a good quarterback, not fantastic, not the greatest ever, but very, very good. He was good, but he didn't have any jobs because of situations. Obviously, completely different situations, but it allowed the league to see and remind the league that he's here. Now he's probably going to get a starting quarterback job somewhere or compete for one. Same thing with Brian. Brian's going to put in the work this year. It sucks. I totally agree with you, Katie. I think
he's going to remind everybody how good
he's
of a
going
coach
to
he is.
remind everyone that linebacking core, and it's just going to be insane. It's going
Well, when Mason Rudolph is the leading candidate as your starting quarterback for next year, you got to have a great defense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, it's and you look at that, and I can't help but think, but it's almost like a blessing in disguise. Like you don't know the way this stuff is going to pan out. You never know. Tomorrow's not promised, but he's setting himself up for a massive paycheck next year.
He had two options. He could either sit out and dig in his heels about the lawsuit, or he can find himself a job and thumb his nose at the NFL while
and
he's
if he
suing.
sits out and just focuses on the lawsuit, he doesn't prove himself as far as a coach is concerned. He gets blackballed by the league at that point.
Exactly.
Like
And he may never get another opportunity.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
he's back front and center in the coaching ranks.
So kudos to the Roonies and kudos to Brian Flores for taking.
I'm definitely rooting for the dude. Like, I'm definitely rooting for him.
Absolutely.
And I just hopeful he never goes near the AFC East again. So that's all I want. So there you go.
I want to see.
Yeah, Brett, nobody cares. Thanks for posting.
Yeah, nobody cares about Minnesota, especially when they might have
Miami next year.
They might have Baker Mayfield next year.
Go fuck yourself, Elliot.
Bro, dude, and I don't get it. Like, I don't see. Do you guys listen to NFL radio at all, or no?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's basically what I listen to in the car. If I'm not,
It's because we don't have to. It's because we don't have to, John.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not listening to Buffalo Bills propaganda, I'm listening to NFL radio. Today was pure Vikings crap. I was like, what is the, like? Isn't it the NFL radio, or it's like, what is this? Like Vikings radio? The entire day was talking heads talking about who gives a crap about the Vikings? Like, I mean,
outside of Minneapolis, nobody.
Katie, you don't really like them, so you can't say that.
Especially if Rogers leaves.
Can't say that. I know you don't like them,
right?
But it's just like it was this entire afternoon of Vikings crap. And like, oh, is Kirk Cousins the answer? No, Kirk Cousins was never the answer, and it's like
she dislikes them.
Yes, yeah. I know.
Hey, Scott. Speaking of which, did you happen to catch the comments by your homeboy, your ace Boone Coon, your sidekick, Mr. Colin Cowherd?
No, I did not hear his comments. I don't listen to Colin Cowherd. I avoid him like the plague.
He's of the ilk, okay, that the Browns, if the opportunity presents itself, they should either get Carson Wentz or Jimmy G.
Oh my God.
To replace Baker Mayfield. First of all, Baker Mayfield ain't going to San Francisco. And I don't think he's going to Indy either. Although Carson Wentz, I think, is getting released before the deadline here in March.
Oh.
But yeah, that he's of the ilk that says if they're there and they're available, you go get them. One of those two guys.
Yeah, because we haven't had enough of bad quarterback play the last 3 years, so it's all good, right?
3 years? 3 decades, sir.
Well, yeah, 3 decades. Well, technically 23 years, John.
Okay, yeah.
Since 99.
You had Bernie, right?
Yeah, we had Bernie in the 80s and early 90s, so it was pretty good.
He's of the ilk that says
we had Benny also, but that's that was
Echo. Who's got that?
Yeah,
Who's
I think that's Ken's
the
laptop echoing.
Is it?
3 years, 3 decades, sir.
Hang on, can I mute him? I don't think I can. Yeah, let me see. Hang on.
There's like a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ken's laptop. It's echoing.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah, Ken. Hello, Ken.
Yes.
Your laptop is echoing. What are you doing?
Oh, I was typing. I was making a comment.
Sorry, you're
I can't comment on the.
Yeah, you got into Facebook and it's gonna pick up all the audio.
Oh, that's what it was. You're on Facebook. Oh, okay.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
I got you.
That's why there was that delay.
That's okay. No one's even said anything about my amazing new shirt.
E-Town?
E-Town, baby.
When we got so deep into the football talk, I didn't get a chance to say anything. I was going to mention that. What's a nice shirt, John?
This is freaking great, right?
Yeah,
hockey's almost at that time of year where it's relevant.
It is. Hockey's almost at the time where we care about it, right?
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
The fact that I'm fitting into a 2XL is a freaking miracle.
Yes.
Okay, like, holy
Well
crap!
done.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thank you,
I'm down to XL. As a matter of fact,
dude.
I'm actually wearing some of my son's large shirts that he doesn't wear anymore. So
she thought it was just an Oilers shirt.
Oh hey, man.
Who you talking?
Okay, buddy, I'm here. High five. You're on camera, so yeah. I'm on camera. Yeah. I'm here. All right. Cool.
What?
Bubble
You don't care. Oh, because she's a Leafs fan. That's why she's. Wait. No,
who's the Leafs fan?
Well, no, she's a Montreal fan. She's a Canadian fan. Excuse me, Janelle. I apologize for that.
Who's the Leafs fan?
Can anybody translate Brett's posts?
I guess
in
what's
English?
being said by agents represent. I don't do this. It's the second. I don't know. Yet Brett's on top of everything, so I trust him.
Yeah, if you want to know if you want useless knowledge, go to Brett. He'll give it to you all the time. Yeah,
it's like sports news in Canada. Fourth line guy on some
what the hell
hockey
is
team
a
in
bubble
Canada stubbed his
restriction?
toe.
What's a bubble restriction? What is that? And what's the difference between a heavy bubble restriction and a light one?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Wait a minute. Janelle says she doesn't care
Brett,
about hockey.
leave that copy and paste alone.
I know why.
Janelle doesn't care about hockey because
I know
Montreal
why.
is very bad.
Montreal's having a poopy year, right?
Yes,
Gotcha.
yeah, kind of like you feel about the Jays when they have a bad year. So I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, this is what's funny is, a little bit of, I know we're going backwards in time here. I was really excited about the Jays this season. Figures, we're going to have a lockout and everything is great. No? Yeah. Okay.
Not so much.
No. Yeah. Oh, buy our stuff.
Hey, just a quick college basketball insertion
It's
here. Did anybody see the brawl that Juwan
Howard, baby.
Michigan?
Yes.
Mr. Cuff in Michigan. Yes, I want the resident Michigan fan to weigh in on what occurred between Wisconsin and Michigan at the end of the game today when Juwan Howard was throwing fisticuffs at an assistant coach for Wisconsin.
He
What's going on?
slapped him. He didn't punch him. He slapped him.
He tried to get the
went
claw
like this.
hold on him, I think.
Yeah.
Juwan Howard had a reputation when he was a player as a hard ass and a thug, and he's carried that over to coaching now. I don't know what caused it. I mean, I know at one point they were ahead by like 5, and then Wisconsin got hot and blew them out. Michigan's going nowhere this year. They'll be lucky to get in the NIT. NCAA is no chance whatsoever. And after this incident, I think Michigan's going to have to take a long, hard look at him. And I expect probably at least a 2 or 3 game suspension.
I think he gets suspended for the
I
rest of
think,
the
if I'm not mistaken, Ken, I think he took exception to the fact that Wisconsin called the timeout when it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
At the end of the
15
game.
seconds left, and they were up by 14.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah. Well, that's because Michigan's still pressing. So, I can see.
I tell you, the Michigan head coach, them Michigan coaches are always in the news, aren't they?
They are for all the wrong reasons. There's about a 10% chance he could get fired. I don't know, but he's not been in trouble before that I know of. But this was totally ridiculous. And like I said, they're not going anywhere this year. They'll be lucky to get in the NIT. I don't know what's happened this year, but they've just come completely to pieces. And they were a strong contender last year, and it's just they're just as bad this year as they were good last year. So I don't know what to say about it.
Hey, John doesn't really talk about baseball, so I can answer that for you. It's not a strike; it's a lockout.
Yeah, it's a
lockout. It's billionaires versus millionaires. That's what's so funny about it. It's hilarious.
It was baseball that threw the first salvo by locking the players out of all the facilities because they thought Rob Manfred, and we said this at the beginning, Rob Manfred thought that strong arm move of locking them out was going to have them acquiesce and say, okay, we'll take the deal. No,
Yeah.
it didn't
Well,
work
the
out
union
that way.
is stronger
They've
than
done
Rob
that.
Manfred thought it
They've
would be.
done that before, and they're not going to
Exactly.
do it again.
It is
Like
pathetic.
and
we
it's
mentioned
all-
this a
Every
couple
time they've
weeks
had a
ago.
work stoppage,
Yeah,
they
and it's all at
give
the
them
feet
in.
it's all at the
They're
feet of
tired of
Major
it.
League Baseball, not the MLPA. It's all at the feet of Major League Baseball. It's their fault. It's
Yeah,
I
it's all on
truly
the-
believe
right.
this is going to kill baseball. I truly believe it.
Well,
Because
you know what?
remember how
Baseball-
hard it
base-
was in '94 to come
Well,
back.
yeah, not only
and
that,
that's-
John, but baseball was on the downturn anyway, and this is only going to make
Right.
it worse.
And no one's going to give a rat's behind when you have basketball, you have NFL on another level. You even got hockey doing better.
Yes.
No
Well,
one's
and you
going
know
to care.
why? You know why? Because the games are slow and boring, and they get drawn out. I mean, come on. Remember when Joe West was an umpire, and every Yankees and Red Sox game took like 5 hours, 6 hours?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Baseball's just gotten to the point where it's boring. All the stuff between pitches and not even the fact that they've raised the pitching thing up to a 10-second, whatever, you have to pitch within 10 seconds or whatever. That didn't even help. You know what I'm saying? Baseball it doesn't attract youth anymore because there's really, and with all the controversy, who's the league that has the most issues when it comes to labor disputes?
Baseball.
Hockey
And
would
they've
be a
become
close
an
second.
outcast.
Man.
All of a sudden, baseball is the number 4 major sport.
And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried if they prolong this, people are just going to be like, meh. And then think how hard it was in '94. The only reason,
Yes.
the only thing that saved baseball back then was freaking steroids.
Yes.
Like, that's the only thing. The home runs.
Well,
That's it.
and the fact that there was no 24/7 media coverage and
Right. No
social
internet.
media,
The internet
No,
wasn't
no
around.
internet.
Social media.
You know?
the news traveled slow, if at all.
Right.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
So yeah, baseball's not. They're definitely right now. They got that noose around the neck, and somebody ready to kick the chair out from under them. And that's going to be Manfred. Manfred's going to be the one issue that says it all. And I don't know does Manfred get the same pressure as Goodell does from the owners in baseball? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's his ownership versus players, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And in the end, the commissioner works for the owners, not the players.
Yeah.
But as always, the ones that get screwed in that tug of war is the rope called the fans.
Yep. As always.
We are the rope in that tug of war. And the rope never really wins.
Man.
So, yeah,
Oh, well.
money, it's all about the money. You're right, Janelle. In the end, it's all about the dollar bill, the almighty dollar, the love of money being the root of all evil. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for actually saying that properly. That's scriptural. Because most people say money is the root of all evil. It's not money.
No,
it's
the
the
love
love
of
of
money.
money. Very good.
Exactly.
Elliot.
Lust of money.
Thank you, sir. That was nice. I know
Let me
Scott's
curtsy
just like, oh.
Let me curtsy for you.
Thank you. Scott's just
Yeah, the
dragging it
obsession over money
Oh.
is what makes things evil, and that's just, come on. As long as time has been around, that's been the case, and as long as money has become what it is, that's always been the case. You know, money is that dagger. Watch your back.
It will make friends do really weird things.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why you never borrow or bet with friends.
The amount of people that have not called me in 10 years because I lent them money is remarkable. It's
If you want to get people out, if you want to get somebody out of your life, lend them some money.
Lend them some money. They will never bother you again.
Or your lawnmower.
Yeah, or your lawnmower.
7 or 8 years ago, I had
Lend them that
bring me
Bitcoin.
down. I think it was a great decision, John, but that's okay.
What's that? Whatever.
Said about 7 or 8 years ago, I think I was in a bad spot, and I asked you for money, and you said no, and I said, you know what, that was probably a good idea.
Oh,
So-
I don't even remember. But
You
it
don't
was
remember me
probably
asking you
mostly
for
because I
help?
was. Oh, that was but that was a company that shall remain nameless thing. Because I
Yeah.
remember you came to me about the company.
Yes.
And I went to certain people and they were like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I
See,
appreciate
now we're
it.
still buddies.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's amazing. You're no longer with the company, but we're still great friends. That's a good thing, right? Anyway. All right, so let's talk NHL. John, you happy with your Oilers? They played
Well,
great?
except for the fact they're losing 3-0 right now in the first to Minnesota, but they were on a little 5-game win streak. We fired our head coach, brought in a new kid.
Yep.
So it was good. You know, McDavid.
What do you guys think of Martin St. Louis and Vinny Lecavalier leading the way in Montreal?
I mean, they're Montreal kids, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a dream for them, I'm sure. I mean, ask Janelle, actually. Don't ask me because I don't know anything about Montreal.
Montreal had to do something to deflect away from the porous season that they're having. I mean,
talk about awful.
Talk about going from the Mecca to the basement in one fell swoop.
Well, yeah, they were in the final last year, so yeah.
They caught a lot of luck. I think once they beat Toronto in the first round, it was like we can do something because it was like Toronto was this behemoth that wasn't supposed to lose, right?
Well, look at the Islanders. They were one win away from making the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
And this year they just in the
My
toilet.
thoughts on Martin St. Louis and Vinny Lecavalier leading the way in Montreal. Like John said, they're Montreal boys. They are Tampa Bay Lightning icons. Their jerseys are in the rafters at Amalie Arena, which I call the Ice Palace to this day. They won a Stanley Cup with the Lightning in 2003, 2004. They will forever, to me, be Tampa Bay Lightning, no matter where they're from. I don't know what kind of coaching experience Martin has. I'm not aware of him coaching on any level. I could be wrong.
He's got a name. He's got a name.
And the same with Vinny. He's got a name. I think the Canadians this year are a lost cause, and I think they part ways with at least St. Louis at the end of the season and bring in a real bench coach, a real coach. Because again, I'm not sure of Marty's experience as far as being a coach at the NHL level. I really don't know.
Now, is he interim or is he full-fledged coach?
Hired him as the head coach, so I don't know if it's interim or not. They hired him at the head coach as the head coach, so it is what it is.
Speaking of Canada,
and no, Katie, I will not root for the Canadians despite the hires. No, it's not going to happen. Get over it. It's not happening.
He might.
Sean Burton that posted something that said, what does the Titanic, the Montreal Canadiens, and the New York Knicks have in common? So they're all the bottom of the Olympic.
Speaking of the Knicks, I think Tom Thibodeau's time is just about up in New York.
You think?
Dude, did you see Stephen A's rant this week about the Knicks?
Oh,
it was pretty good, man. It was pretty good.
They gave up a 28-point lead in the fourth quarter. Give me a freaking hell.
To Brooklyn.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's exciting.
Anytime Stephen A bursts a blood vessel, it's a good day. I'm just saying.
Well, did you see where they?
Besides the Cowboys for a team.
Yeah.
Did you see where they turned down an opportunity to get DeMar DeRozan?
Yeah.
In free agency, and he wound up going to the Bulls instead.
He was supposed to go to the Lakers too. He thought he was going to the Lakers.
Well, what about the Harden trade?
What about it?
Whatever. Good for Brooklyn. Good for Brooklyn.
Oh, and by the way, Ben Simmons has played more games in Brooklyn than Kyrie Irving this year.
Dude, I'm like, you know me, I can't stand that franchise. Like with a passion, I hate the Nets. But like they robbed Philly. Toodles, Jangle. They robbed Philly. Totally robbed Philly. They got Seth Curry too.
Yeah, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Curry. Seriously, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was part of the deal.
Yeah, they got Seth Curry. They got Andre Drummond.
Yeah,
and Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. For that dude, man.
Is Ben Simmons even healthy at this point? I mean, I know he's been off on a mental break at this point, but
No, he's fine. He's still bricking free throws and
Yeah, but see, if you're gonna run your offense through Ben Simmons, that's a bad idea, right?
Correct.
I mean, you run your offense through KD,
Yes.
totally, or
who's,
Kyrie,
by the way,
right?
injured at this point.
Right? Yeah.
But hey,
so
remember the big three that they put together?
bro, this is why the
16
NBA
games,
pisses me
16
off,
games in 2 seasons.
I know. It's dude. I this is what pisses me off about the NBA. These guys try to make these super teams. That's why I love stories like Milwaukee. Obviously, I'm a diehard Raptors
In Cleveland this year too.
And Cleveland, bro. Like, is Jarrett Allen like the most likable guy on the planet right now?
Yes.
So,
like, this guy's
do you
great.
think, your opinion, John, do you think that they're scapegoating Russell Westbrook a little too much in LA?
Well, of course, because that would be, LeBron will just deflect everything, even though it's all his shots. He calls who gets to the team.
Which is why he's talking about it's not out of the question that he could return to Cleveland.
Yeah, I saw that over the weekend too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, now that Cleveland's winning. But LeBron James has proven over and over again that he's a franchise destroyer.
They all are. All of these egotistical dudes, like, just destroy franchises. They might have a couple of championships between them, but I wouldn't want to be a fan of that. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just kind of old school, but like Katie said, I like Giannis. I like the Jarrett Allen stories. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Like even the Knicks last year with Randall, I liked that story. Like, that's the stuff I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear about KD and freaking James Harden ever again. Like, if they never played another game, I'd be fine with it. And LeBron James can go and play one game with his son and call it a career. Good on you. I don't care.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Wherever Bronny is, that's where he wants to be.
But I saw an interesting question today. Has anybody asked Bronny if he wants Dad to play with him?
To play with his dad, yeah. So he takes the shine, Yeah. Stupidity, man. Whatever.
Is he not even considering college?
Yeah, well, he's got to play, right? He's got to play 1 year, and he can't go direct.
Eligible for the draft in 2024.
Right, so he's got to play 1 year in college.
Yes, he does.
And then, because he can't do a high school direct to NBA.
How old is he? Is he a junior or senior?
I don't even know, 18 or something, I think.
If he's going to be eligible for the draft in 2024, then he's a junior. He's going to be playing. He'll be a senior next year.
Okay.
Are we all old enough to remember when the slam dunk and 3-point competitions were relevant?
Bro, I didn't even watch a second of it.
Of course, I didn't either.
Nah, I did not even watch any of it.
In my younger days, maybe, but not anymore.
Because who is who?
Who cares?
Who is who? I mean, come on. Obi Toppin won the slam dunk competition.
Well, the All-Star game's on right now. Is anybody watching it?
Nope.
No. What channel is it on? I don't even care.
I don't know if it's TNT or ABC or whatever it is. I don't know.
But here's the thing. Historically, I never liked watching the All-Star game anyway because they don't play defense. They're like kind of like the Pro Bowl. It's two-hand touch. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I used to watch the dunk competition and stuff, but I could care less now.
The 3-point competition when guys like Bird and stuff were in it. The dunk when the big profile players, Dominique, Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. LeBron put an end to all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to. None of the high-profile stars.
If you've watched Twitter, the dunk contest got blasted because it was so terrible and awful last night.
I didn't even see. I couldn't tell you who won.
Look, if Obi Toppin wasn't a Knick, I wouldn't have known any of the participants in the dunk competition.
They need to pull the plug on it because it's useless.
Because it's ridiculous, man. But you know what? It's all the prima donnas nowadays that don't want to, participate. Just like in the home run derby in baseball. Remember?
Right.
You used to get a lot of the stars that come out.
You got your McGuires and Sosas back in the day that were in there every year. Now
why? Because it was all about the game, not preserving themselves.
There was obviously I'm an Oilers fan. We didn't trade.
Really?
We signed. Yeah, I know. We signed Evander Kane a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been freaking amazing. He got a goal tonight too. But he did a press conference a couple of nights ago when they played and they won. But what was really unique about the game is that it wasn't the first or second lines that scored. It was the third and fourth line. And Evander Kane was asked about this, and this is what he said. He said, the NHL is not like the NBA. You can't have one or two stars. He's referring to Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. He's like, you can't have that and that's it in hockey. You can't do it. You need those guys, but you need a full team.
Yes.
And it's like the NBA guys, the prima donnas, they don't get that. For whatever reason it is, they've been talked up in their head by the social media people. I don't know.
But also, its roster sizes are different too. Because in the NBA, what do you got? A maximum of 12 guys on the
12
bench?
or 13, right? Yeah.
And you get 20 or 21 in the NHL.
Yeah.
So the roster size makes a difference because, if you only got 2 guys out of 20 or 21, as opposed to 2 guys out of 12, that's
right. But the thing with the NBA is if you don't have a bench, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You need, and the prima donna guys haven't got it through their head that you can be the big 3, but if you don't have a bench, if you don't have supporting role type of players, you're screwed.
And Cleveland is proving that as well in the NBA this year.
Well, look at LA. Same thing with LA. They're still criticizing LA for letting Caruso go,
who was a great support dude.
Yeah.
He was great coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's putting all their stock into LeBron, but he's
damn near almost 40.
Chemistry.
Yeah, he's 37, 36 or something. I think he's 36.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, Father Time, man. Undefeated. And, I don't get it, man. This is, again, why I love the NFL. Because, you got your diva wide receivers. You've got your cocky cornerbacks. But you know what? They're not going to win you the game by themselves.
It's the guys in the trenches that win the games. It's the offensive line.
It's the special teams. It's the offensive lines, the defensive line.
Right.
It's the linebackers. It's
the ones that get no shine.
It's the tight end that never catches a ball but will block the hell, out of an edge coming, to take off the quarterback's head. That's why I love the NFL, because there's all those little freaking intricacies that make the sport so intriguing. Anyways, this is our buy NFL merchandise, everyone. Anyway,
well, it's a true team game. You know what I'm saying?
It is. And basketball is, but these guys don't get it through their head that it is. That's the problem.
And they have 53-man rosters too.
That's a big team.
Rosters.
That's a big team.
And you got to get all those guys. First of all, you got to get them all to buy in on whatever system and whatever plan that they have.
Right.
Okay. And this is probably why the Rams have gotten to the point they've gotten to since McVay took over. Although McVay lately has been suspect as far as his coaching goes. But I mean, if you don't got right now, I don't think anybody's buying into LeBron in LA.
No.
And that's why LA is suffering the
way
way
out
it
of
is.
LA right now.
Basically. And the fact that AD ain't around half the time doesn't help matters any either.
No.
How much
AD went down with a very large, a badly sprained ankle.
Did you see that sprain? Did you see how his ankle? Oh my!
And you know
God.
what? Why are players still playing in low tops? Why?
I don't know.
Because it looks cool.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah, because they're aerodynamic.
I mean, high tops should be the standard because it helps prevent those types of injuries. It doesn't eliminate them, but it helps prevent them. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
well, any kind of support you can get on your ankle. Although the way he twisted his foot, I don't think even high tops would have helped him on that one.
No, I mean, Katie's good, right? Getting to the point. It's amazing that his foot is still attached. You're right.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't dislocate that ankle.
Yeah, that was a nasty.
The way it bent backwards like that. Yeah.
Yeah. When I see what's going on with Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson, two names come to mind: Sam Bowie and Greg Oden.
Oh yeah.
They're hurt all the time, and I'm afraid it's going to be career shortening.
And they might have come out. And they might have come out overrated because of all the hype they got coming in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They were great college basketball players who didn't translate into the NBA.
Yes.
Like Christian Laettner.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a different
There's a
game,
lot
man.
of them.
Adam
There's a lot of
Morrison.
them.
You know?
Mhm.
I mean, these kids were college legends, man. But it's a different game. It's
translate.
I mean, you're not going to get a Seth Curry all the time, you know, or Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Somebody that was great in college and carried it over into the NBA. That's not going to happen.
Greatest shooter ever? Would you say so? I'd say so. I'd
say at this point he is. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there could be. I can't think of a legitimate argument to the contrary.
Larry Bird.
I think he's by far the best player to ever shoot a ball. Even better than Ray Allen, Steve Kerr, and the rest of those guys that were legends.
Larry Bird.
Even Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Katie, that's a really good
Reggie
point.
Miller.
That's a great point about Duke. Duke has always had fantastic college, but it hasn't translated to NBA.
And that's because Mike Krzyzewski. That's because Krzyzewski knew how to get the most out of mediocre talent.
Yeah, they turned to the thumbs like that guy that plays in what is it, in Milwaukee or in Minnesota, whoever he plays for. What the hell's his name? He just got suspended.
Karl Anthony Towns?
No.
Wait.
No, the guy that almost took this guy's arm off in a play and
that jackhole, the prick, the dirty guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? I forget.
Oh, what's
I can't
his name?
remember. I know who you're talking
That's
about.
how
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen. He's the one that injured Caruso, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the one that used to trip everybody when he was in college.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Dirty player, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, a poor man's Bill Lambier.
Oh, Garrett Allen. Excuse me, Garrett Allen, maybe.
Okay.
But at least Lambier had size.
Right. Yeah.
Grayson. Yeah, it's Grayson. You're right, Katie. It is Grayson. Grayson Allen.
It is Grayson.
Yeah.
Day tripper.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But, yeah, I mean, when you play that kind of game, you don't even deserve to be in the game when you play that style.
Yeah, it's bogus, man.
You're hurting people. I mean, Caruso 6 weeks on the pine or on the shelf.
Yep.
Because of that.
Yep.
And I think that kind of derailed that great start that the Bulls had. Because they kind of cooled off after Caruso was gone. Why? Because Caruso was coming off the bench and balling for him.
Yeah.
A couple?
Like he did in LA.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Ken?
I said, I was referring to something Katie said. He's the one who threw a couple of elbows during UNC Duke game.
Yeah.
He's more than a couple.
You had a thought before that. You said you acted like you got a thought before that, but you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention another thing about hockey. I actually stayed up and watched the gold medal game between Finland and Russia.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the gold medal game between our two great nations.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
I mean,
the women's?
Do we care about Slovenia, really, or whatever?
Finland and Russia, is that what it was, Ken?
Finland and Russia. Finland finally won a gold medal in hockey, 2-1. It's their first one. But I wanted to ask you: are there aspects? And I mentioned this in the group and didn't get any response. Are there any aspects about international hockey that you would like to see?
I like the bigger ring.
I love the bigger ring because it's more wide open game. It's the
problem with the bigger rink. The problem with the bigger rink is it opens it up, but there's no hitting because it's opened up.
Yeah.
So when you have the NHL size, you at least have contact.
Yeah.
So the in the trenches stuff matters more. But I like opening it up, but I
do too.
Yeah, it's just
it's kind of like the lane in international basketball.
The game actually flows quicker without the hitting and everything. So, I mean, there is some hitting. It's not near as much as NHL, but there is some. But like you said, it is with a bigger rink. It's wide open, and the game flows quicker. There's not as many whistles, not as many penalties. And I thought, let me say this. Neither the United States nor Canada men were as good as they thought they were going to be. And it showed on the ice. The United States won all 3 games voting against Canada, but they had absolutely no power play. They went 0 for whatever in power plays. They were lax. They didn't even, in that game they were eliminated against Slovakia. They had a 5-on-3 and a regular power play in the last 3 minutes and did not even get a shot off. Nothing on net. And so they were not anywhere near as good as they thought they were going to be. Canada apparently wasn't either. I didn't get to see Canada play but once or twice. And
but how much of their quality players actually showed up is the question.
They're all in the NHL.
Because
it was mostly AHL players and
because the NHL was like a who's not.
Yeah,
that wasn't a who's who. It was a who's
with a bunch of Michigan players playing for the United States. In fact, the U.S.-Canada game, Michigan had 2 players playing for U.S. and 2 for Canada. So these weren't NHL players. Well, some of them were former NHL players, but it was
not surprised at all, Katie.
Not surprised. But the thing is, I'm not at all sure we'll see the NHL in the Olympics again. I'm not at all sure about that.
I'm sure the ratings were horrible for these Olympics. So
yeah,
I didn't watch a minute of it. So
neither did I. I didn't watch.
I got you beat. I didn't watch a second of it.
Yeah.
Same me. Not even a second.
I had to stay up till like 1 o'clock in the morning just to see our games played because
that's actually what? That's a lie. Sorry, I watched the women's game.
Yes, I watched it too.
Okay. And shout out to the women's national team for winning the gold medal.
I mean, our women. I said it on Facebook. Our women are a different ilk. Ilk. Is that the word?
Well, no, elk would be Canadian word.
Elk would be Canadian too. Yeah.
No,
they're amazing, man. Our women in soccer and in hockey are just on another level, man. They're freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right, guys. That's it for tonight. We filled another 90 minutes, and we're out of here.
And you know what? Did you notice something, Scott?
What's that, Elliot?
We filled up 90 minutes, but only 30 of it was football.
No, we did a lot more than 30 minutes of football. We did a lot more.
I don't think so.
We
filled it up with a lot of other stuff than football.
Well, we did a lot.
Bottom line is we don't really need a full season of football.
No, we don't, but we did almost an hour of NFL tonight, believe it or not. Whether you were watching the clock or not, we did almost an hour of NFL tonight, so it's all good. But
off subjects too, right?
Yeah, irregardless.
Look, bottom line is we get in 90 minutes, NFL or not. We'll get in 90 minutes.
I'll never say it again. I'll never say it again that we can't fill 90 minutes in the offseason. I'll never say it again. All right, fellas. You have a great week. And we're out of here on behalf of my co-hosts, Ken Costo, Elliot, Big E Lamba, and, of course, my really good friend, John Go Olson from the Great White North in Edmonton, Canada. You all have a great week. We are the Sports Nerds, and we are out for another week. We'll be back next week at 7:30. Elliot, hit that outro.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right, and his co-host, John Olson, Ken Coslow, our two lovable members in the Ramp Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rant Pack. And with that, fellas, we are out.